Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday and welcome into Zelda Speedruns. Today, it's a busy day over here, but first off, this morning, we've got the Skyward Sword Randomizer Season 4 tournament round-robin race between Oni and Derq. Tracking today is Featherblade, and alongside me on commentary is Cube David. How are you?
Doing pretty well. Happy to catch another restream of the Season 4 tournament. Second race that is getting a restream. And I guess second race as well that I've commentated for Season 4.
We appreciate your help, and Featherblade, it is very early in the morning for her. We really appreciate her help getting up early. We cannot do this without our trackers.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, this is a race between Oni, who's been around the Skyward Sword community now for a couple years, Derq, who's relatively new, who has been playing a lot. Kind of the way we did the groups was we put people into pools, did the World Cup draw style. So Oni was in pool 2, Derq was in pool 3. So Oni is definitely favored here, but I know I've looked on race time and Derq has beaten Oni in a couple races, so like, you know, anything is possible. Any guesses on dungeons?
I'm just going with ET, LMF, and FS.
That's fair. I'm gonna go with Cistern, Sandship, and LMF.
Okay.
I did know where our spawn was here because I did load into the seed. Elden Volcano is a pretty nice place to spawn.
Yeah,
because there's a lot to do.
Ascent is really nice. Allows you to go into the early parts of Elden and allows you to also
and a digging myth start.
Oh,
that is big actually, because that puts even more of Elden Volcano into logic.
Yeah,
and
that's
we have
pretty much
Earth
perfect.
Temple, Cistern, and Sandship.
Okay. Yeah, already starting off with key pieces. With our Season 4 settings, all key pieces are shuffled amongst the checks in Elden Volcano.
Yes, and because Earth Temple is required, those will all ping. So that's kind of when Earth Temple is required, you have 5 checks you have to get. When Earth Temple is not, you have 5 junk items.
Yep.
And while climbing all the way up the volcano is technically not in logic, most of the runners should be able to do this. You just have to time it right.
Derq running barely out of stamina, unfortunately.
Yeah. The one thing I will say is, I don't know if either of these two runners know the Elden Out of Bounds. Going all the way up and down the volcano is not going to be the fastest without claw shots. That is an Elden Volcano cube to...
Oh,
was that
cube
Colossus?
even? Yeah, it was Colossus.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited.
So, we do have Goddess Cubes enabled. Not all of them. It is 12 total. So there are... I'm trying to remember if there are 2 or 3 here in Elden. I think there's 2 in Elden, so that kind of narrows it down to 1 of 2 cubes that you're going to have to get.
Yeah, it's either Sensei Cube or, I think, West of ET.
Right, which they cannot...
they can get
Yeah,
it.
they can,
with
with myths, right, yeah.
Yeah. That one's available from the very start, at least.
Yes.
Yeah, my guess with Path to Colossus would just be Emerald Tablet.
That is pretty likely, but...
Yeah.
Could be scale,
it can
could be something else.
Yeah, it can be a bunch of different things. Claw shots, scale, whip, all very eligible items.
That is Forest Courage has... Which I think is possibly required.
Yeah, correct.
So, Skykeep cannot be a required dungeon in these settings. That is Gorge Digging Spot Dead. We see they are routing this a little differently. Derq is starting with lower Elden here. I think because he didn't quite get the stutter sprint.
Yeah. The
It
new
is.
assessment.
It's definitely not easiest trick, but it's one that if you practice, you can figure out. And there's a bomb bag.
That's convenient.
My guess is Oni still cannot get past the bridge in Earth Temple.
Yeah, that's true.
I was about to say that almost makes Earth Temple fully clearable for Oni, but not quite.
Okay, there's a scale that is very likely just the path to Galactos. No, wait, that was
the path was on one of the cubes.
Yeah.
So
already forgetting stuff.
Yeah.
Great.
That scale is very good. It does unlock a good number of checks. It opens up Ancient Cistern, although with Flooded Farron Woods dead, it's a couple fewer checks.
It's still pretty decent with Florian AC.
Yeah.
Just some very nice check density once you get your Emerald Tablet.
Yeah. The Digging Mitts kind of takes this away, but I feel like one of the interesting things that the Goddess Cubes adds is some routing and things. Without Digging Mitts, potentially you would not go to the sand slide and get the cube there and maybe wait a little bit. Or you might do a trick to get that out of logic. With Mitts, obviously there's not really like a backtracking thing going on here.
Yeah.
Looks like nothing here.
Yeah.
So we've seen scale. We saw a bottle from Derq, which does unlock a few things, although with Fire Sanctuary not required, doesn't do much.
Yeah.
Yes, and this Cuban Magma Turf is also enabled. So there are 2 cubes in the Elden Volcano region, one in Magma Turf and one in Volcano Summit. I know you all talked about this the last stream, but the last time that Goddess Cubes were enabled in a main tournament, the toggle was not as good, so you could basically only toggle
all or nothing.
Cubes. Yeah, it was all or nothing, and people really didn't like it because there are a couple Goddess Cubes that are really out of the way, just not fun to get to, kind of have to be always hinted.
Yeah. Stuff like the Pirates Cubes or Temple of Time Cube are really obnoxious ones.
Yeah. Yeah, the Pirate Stronghold Cube especially is just...
Yeah.
So, alright, so Derq got through Magma Turf, didn't get anything, is I think gonna now go try and climb the rest of Elden Volcano here. And we're kind of just gonna see them trade.
Yeah, only finish up with the dig spots.
Yeah, not... The scale was the one thing, but... I think you're right. Like, we're basically 50-50, either pointing to the Emerald Tablet or pointing to the whip to get through, to get our path. And I guess it could be an edge case where it's like claw shots. There are some weird things that can happen with Ancient Cistern, but...
Definitely.
Oni will almost certainly make a beeline for the for the cubes that he got in Elden, because that's a path item.
Yeah, exactly.
You probably still want to do your Sky Route and do Skyloft, which has a pretty good number of checks, but...
Oh yeah, definitely. That bottle also makes a Sky Route a lot nicer, since you can just do Oriel right at the start.
Yeah.
Or like once you loop around from Lumpy Pumpkin to Volcanic Island.
Yeah, knowing that that spiral charge as possibly required is interesting, because that probably means it's one of the spiral charge rocks will ping, but it's probably something... Well, it's something they're not going to need to get. There's no way we're going to go into the Farron trial this seed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so just kind of seeing them flip. The one interesting thing also to just keep in mind is both the bomb bag and the scale are locked behind some kind of projectile.
Probably like bow, slingshot.
Yeah,
one of those
it's
two.
not a huge thing, but technically those are out of logic right now. The game does expect you to have a way to kill that first Boko. Not a huge thing, but it's, if you're really trying to watch the logic, that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, trying to keep those things in mind can always be beneficial.
Yeah, this one not so much, but yeah, you can sometimes make assumptions that are really wrong, though. I know I have done that. Let's see. Yeah, so we're just gonna kind of see them trade off here. Not much else to say.
Yeah. It starts getting interesting again once they head into the sky.
Yeah, I imagine we're going to see them do pretty similar things, but
yeah.
We'll see. You know, Oni kind of getting through Elden a little faster here, but it's not a huge difference. Yeah, and even that money is not particularly useful because Beetle's shop is dead. At most, you're going to need 100 rupees all seed.
Yeah. And with Legends Crystals also being junked, money's even less relevant in the seed.
That's right. Yes. Money is completely useless this seed, in fact.
Yeah.
I will be interested to see how Oni kills the Bokos here. He's down to 1.5 hearts, so maybe won't do the bomb thing, but I always love doing it. Just pull out a bomb, and one of the Bokos hits it and blows all of them up.
It is very fun and satisfying.
It is, yes.
Of course, you can't do that because Oni ran out of bombs.
Oh,
we should be able to get a
there
refill. Near the butt
not
statue.
in here though. Yeah, he will get a refill, but he will probably just warp to start out of here.
Yeah.
Because it'll be a little faster to get to the sky. And yeah, we are going to immediately see him probably go to Bamboo Island and douse to figure out which cube it is. And Emerald Tablet seems right.
It could still be.
It could be a whip, though.
It could also be a very obscure chain, for all we know.
That's true. When you don't start with all the tablets, like Amber Tablet can be your path item for a dungeon in a different region. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Oni is gonna get out of the sky maybe 30 seconds. Get to the sky 30 seconds or so before Derq. So, you know, you see a little bit of speed, but they literally just did the same thing in different order. This very well could be a linear sequence, depending on how things go, but yeah, I mean, especially without a projectile, you're probably still going to want to do Skyloft before you go to Farron.
Yeah.
Cave's Key.
Ooh, Cave's Key. Okay, that is, I think, the west of ET Cube.
Yes, I should pull up the tracker.
Yeah, I'm just scrambling
Where
through
was
my memory.
that? A Triforce of Courage?
Yeah, Triforce of Courage in Sandship.
Okay.
And just scrambling through my memories from the co-op tournament. Because I think aside from one cube, they are basically the same from the tournament.
Yeah, we flipped one.
Yeah.
Because we realized during the tournament that... Well, I realized during the tournament we really needed to fix the logic for one of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Where is the other cube?
It's in
That is
Shed
Boko
Chest.
Base.
The Goddess
It's
Shed
where?
Chest, a standslide cube. So we'll get to see that once we get to Skyloft.
Yeah. Got it. That's right. Though. Yeah, Derq did not go and grab cave skiing or the hint on Bamboo Island, did he?
No. He hasn't picked up either.
Yeah.
Or checked either, I should say. Okay, we're going for the hint stone now.
Yeah. You want to grab the 3 hints here in the sky.
That would be funny if the volcanic island Gosstone would have the hint for Trice of Wisdom. Nope.
That is Betro 50 Dead, which we added as an always hint this season, kind of to balance things out. We removed some of the really slow always hint locations, and we were kind of getting too many hints, so we were trying to kind of balance things out. Betro 50 made sense. Yeah, Derq probably should have just skydived from where he was.
Yeah, it would have probably been a bit faster.
Right, so Oriel is dead, and yeah, we are 100% now going to see kind of your normal Skyloft. I say normal. Normal for non-vanilla start. Skyloft route, where they're going to start up at the statue of the goddess and kind of work their way down. I wonder... as I say that, Oni does not do that. I wonder if anyone's going to check Betro. I think it'll just kind of depend on where they are. They have 10 crystals.
Okay, that is a ping in one of the shed chests.
Yeah,
It's one of the 2.
and Colin's letter. So that's another
Okay.
check.
Already paying
Yeah, I
off
think-
going central first.
Yeah, Oni is beelining for this chest. Does make some sense. The one thing is this hinted path item can't be a projectile, and that is Amber Tablet from Rena.
Yeah, that's convenient pickup.
Yeah. That now makes me think then that our Emerald Tablet is in Linearu somewhere. Well, it's our Emerald Tablet or our Whip are probably in Linearu, unless this is just... Yeah, okay.
Okay,
So,
it's the cave ski.
Yep.
That is path to collectors. Since the sense like cube chest not ping, and there's projectile lock projectile.
yes. Yeah, Derq got those same crystals. They were... Because they full cleared... they both full cleared Eldin, except for the dead, what do I call it? The dead beetle checks. So yeah, they're both at 10. Yeah, Oni is probably just gonna go back to the sky and then to the statue of goddess from here. It's interesting. They're both. This is not the way I would have routed Skyloft here. I would have probably started the statue and made my way up. But this
Maybe they were
hoping
hoping for projectile for the Night Academy bell.
Well, there's 2 projectiles now, so
Okay, that one's in logic though. So now
Yes.
our scale and our bombs are in logic.
yeah, that's not surprising. There are
Yeah.
there are 3 single shots and 3 bows in the game. It is very hard to get a path bow. It is significantly harder to get a slingshot. It happens where they lock all the projectiles, but it's not common.
Yeah, that's a real rarity.
I've gotten a path slingshot once, but it doesn't happen too often.
Yeah.
And kind of the one thing that Oni has that Derq does not is there's that hint on Bamboo Island and the Cave's Key. I do hope Derq remembers to go back for it.
Yeah.
Mind you, no matter where they land, without claw shots, you can't kind of traverse. You can get one check on one side of the door, depending on spawn in Lanayru, but without claw shots, the Cave's Key is not necessarily a lot.
Yeah.
Here's our first sword.
That's out of the 3 that we harp require.
That is another harp-shaped object, which is
The actual
the harp.
Okay. Even more upper checks. And yeah, Derq did go back for the case key, fortunately.
Yeah. I figured he would, but
Yeah.
useful. So yeah, now we're just gonna kind of see Oni make his way through Upper Skyloft here, do the Knightish Academy checks. And there's
Okay,
our
that's
Emerald
not
tab.
good.
So
Okay.
I think you're probably
that
just
path
gonna,
needs to whip. That
yeah,
path
you're
needs
gonna go to
whip.
Farron for sure now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you're gonna be able to clear things more efficiently in Farron right now, which is why you're probably gonna go to Farron. I would if I were playing this seed, I would go to Lanayru, and that's why I'm not good at this game. Oh, Derq is gonna just clear Earth Temple.
Okay.
Okay.
Risking
That
the lava tunnel
actually makes a
rupee.
lot of. Yeah, he does not have a beetle. That is the one potentially risky thing. We don't have
Yeah.
that hit.
It could have very big payoff though.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if that check, there's one check that is a sometimes hint here in Earth Temple, and so, but it is beetle locked. So Derq can't get it anyway. So he's just gonna do the back in time trick to skip it, and basically hope it doesn't have the boss key. That's really the one and only thing. Well, there are 2 checks that could have a boss key that are beetle locked. There's a rupee up on the left side of this door here.
Oh right, true. But at least that's peekable decently well from
Nice
central
little cutscene
platform.
skips from Derq. Those don't save a ton of time, but it's a couple seconds.
Yeah, especially that last one for the final rope is really good. Because that just saves the most amount of time out of any of those 3.
The goal of this randomizer. So you can change the settings. In this tournament, what you need to do is complete your 3 required dungeons, which are Earth Temple, Ancient Cistern, and Sandship. You need to collect the 3 pieces of the Triforce. You need to get the Goddess Harp, and you need to get to your Master Sword, which is the level 5 sword, so they have to collect 3 of the 4. And Derq is going to be able to beat the dungeon now.
Yep. So that's pretty nice at least.
Yeah. Again, the question is just, is there anything useful on those 2 beetle lock checks that he can't get? Interestingly, Oni here is doing early Zelda's Closet. I didn't see him
Honestly,
get much.
I do like that, since I think
He's gonna
Zelda's
go.
puzzle would... It would just be the only check in upper that he couldn't clear.
Yep, and he's grabbing the... Well, and it's nothing.
Okay.
But
at least
he
he
might
has
do
peace of
Earth
mind
Temple
that...
now, too. It'll be interesting to see. I would love to see them do different things.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially
like he had to warp to start out of here anyway.
Yeah.
And he is also going to Earth Temple.
Interesting.
And the interesting thing here is I don't think Oni got anything useful. Did he get Neighbor's Wisdom?
Yeah, that was on... Where was that? I don't remember. Oh yeah, it was in the Goddess statue, and it just locks the Gravity Crystal pack, which is possibly required.
So yes, dowsing only works for chests. There are some other types of dowsing you can do for freestanding items that can tell you potentially if they are rupees or treasure, but they can't tell you if they're useful items. So the chest dowsing...
Of course, the level 4 sword for that, the white sword. Which none of our runners have at this moment.
Yeah. So we're going to see our first instance of Back in Time. Here.
Yeah. Skyward Sword, the one game where you actually want to die sometimes.
I think you do in other games sometimes too.
Yeah, for death warping, but I think in Skyward Sword it's a little more frequent.
Yes, it is. Because Back in Time.
Yeah.
Oh, and Derq, unfortunately, I think, went onto the splash screen. So he had to...
Yeah.
Yeah, so to do this reverse bit magic trick, you have to get inside the Knight Academy. In order to do it, you have to not get past this title screen from the splash screen. And the way you do it usually is you go to the Wii Motion Plus, and to start running, you go to the left side. Yeah, and no button. And every A press has to be on this Wii Motion Plus instructional video page.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you press A, and there we go, that you got in. Once you get inside, you're fine, but there's something... Basically, the memory works weird in Back in Time, and it can crash. This is actually a thing that there's a fix for, but we do not play with those fixes because it would make Back in Time just even more powerful.
Yeah.
So Derq has gotten the cutscene that he didn't see. He's going to die. And voila, the bridge will be raised.
Definitely one of the most useful RBMs, I want to say.
Yeah, and he is going to go grab that chest. Because there is something on it. Yeah, it's one of the most useful. It's, you know, I think a minute or so time save if you get it perfectly.
Yeah, and this
Not
case it just leads
essential,
to being able to complete the dungeon.
Yes, because you actually cannot do this without the Back in Time trick without a beetle.
Yeah.
So
I'm thinking right now, maybe since that is a sword, Oni will have the white sword, so he might be able to get information on the lava tunnel rupee check.
Yeah. I'll be curious to see if we actually get a path to Scaldera. What it might be. It could just be to the bomb bag, which was accessible from the start of the game, basically. Close to it. It could be a beetle because we know now that that first beetle is hard required, especially if we get a beetle up here somewhere.
Yeah.
And we're going to see both Derq and Oni do this trick called a stutter sprint. If you hold A the whole time, you can't get up the slope, but if you kind of rhythmically press A, you can just climb up. It is one of those tricks that is pretty easy to learn, I would say. You kind of just have to get the rhythm.
Once you get that down, it's not too hard.
I like seeing Link standing on the lava. And that is a dead baby rattle because Skyloft Village was dead.
Yep.
That is the one thing. Yes, this Featherblade's dead. Stutter sprinting is pretty useful in a lot of places. So yeah, we'll have to see if Oni decides to White Sword Douse. Not everyone remembers to do it. I don't do it because I always forget to switch my dowsing deck. No, so what I would say is the back in time tricks, they vary a lot. This one in Earth Temple is pretty... I'm not going to say easy, it's straightforward. Once you kind of learn how to get into the Knight Academy. That's the hardest thing here. Like, once you get inside, the fast text makes it really easy to kind of know how to do correctly. This is a trick that if you're playing any percent, the timing is a little trickier because the vanilla game does not have fast text. And things like fast text actually really change back in time. Vanilla speedrunners playing random the first time have to kind of get used to the differences.
Yeah, also one thing that can make the RDM a bit easier, if you have a crop file instead, you can enter Knight Academy with that file, and you don't have to pay attention so much towards not opening your splash screen. Since going into Knight Academy with the crop file doesn't crash the game.
Yes. Is a nice kind of safety to have as a backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, with these dungeons, the back in time is a lot more limited, I would say. I don't know, Fire Sanctuary, I feel like, is really the dungeon that you can see a lot of back in time things.
Yeah. You can also see some stuff in LMF with depending on the ping layout.
That is true.
But other than that, I guess the other back in time interaction you would have with this layout would be potentially the tentacle skip if you are in go mode by that point.
Yeah. The tentacle skip though is one of the trickier ones.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And if you fail it once, it basically ends up being slower than just doing the boss. So that is a trick I never learned. Because I just decided it was not worth it.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, it did cost me a race in Season 3 at one point. At least partially, but I've gotten better at it.
Okay, so that is a beetle-locked beetle.
Yep.
Which is doesn't mean much, it's just interesting that certainly increases the likelihood that when we get our Scaldera path, it is a beetle.
Yeah.
Again, there are 4 beetles in the item pool, so it's not guaranteed. It's interesting. One of the settings that we played around with a little bit before Season 3 was removing the scrap shop upgrades, and it changed things a lot. I don't think people liked it very much, but it was a kind of cool experiment. Yeah, that's the other interesting thing, is he's just kind of gambling those beetle checks, which I don't think either of them peaked what was over the bridge, did they?
Don't think so, yeah.
Because with your bow, you could zoom in and peek that.
Yeah, exactly. And Oni also did not the White Sword Dolls, the lava tunnel rupee.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate not going back for either of them. Like,
yeah,
they're isolated and slow, but it's definitely something where when you come back for it, it's going to be a little... If you have to come back for it, it's going to be rough. Yeah, I personally don't do subtle peaks. I like to zoom in on things. Make sure my eyes are not deceiving me, because I have mispeaked things and made seeds unbeatable, so...
Yep, Destinary's wisdom again.
Again, it's not a huge difference, but you're kind of seeing Oni he's a little more experienced, so he's a little more efficient at just moving around and clearing things, and so the only difference between the two of them right now is these checks in Upper Skyloft, but that's now somewhere like 2 minutes of time, probably, that
it's
that Oni has. We'll see. It'll be interesting. I think you go to Farron here.
Yeah, I would say so as well. With a beetle, with scale, bombs, harp, that's a really
like I said, I would go to Limeru,
but
that's because I would
route.
Yeah. Especially just, you can do all of like Floria here. You can do a good chunk of Ancient Cistern. Like, Farron definitely has more checks you can do faster.
Oh. Well,
okay.
About that, I guess.
Well, that is actually really useful info for Oni, in the sense that he knows he needs claw shots to get through. Like, I actually think there's not necessarily a lot Oni can do here.
Well, he can do a bit, some checks in Sandship, actually.
Oh, that's...
Since we start with C-Chart.
That's right. I forgot, yeah. I kind of forgot that Sandship is their required dungeon. Yeah, I mean... It's definitely not a bad play. Like, you can do a decent amount. You can ping Skipper's Retreat, because we disabled the chest in the shack. But I expect we're going to see Derq go to Farron here.
Yeah. I would assume so.
Alright, and there is White Sword dowsing. You can douse for treasure and rupees for White Sword. I assume Oni was able to peek the other side from there.
Yeah. Fortunately, I only did remember to change back to normal chest housing.
Yeah. That looks like the first check.
Yeah, it's either first or second chest. The ping intensity is not strong enough for the last chest.
I always kind of forget which is the first and the second.
Yeah,
They're both pretty close to
it
each other.
can be hard to tell since they're just in such close proximity to each other.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just
Yep.
a thirst. Tatone!
Yes. And yeah, so Flooded Fair Woods is dead, but the way we set up the settings in this season, basically you start with 14 of the 17 groups of Tad Tones. You have to find 3 around the world if the Flooded Fair Woods reward has something, which it is also an always hint. And we're gonna get some more info here.
Speaking of.
Because it was barren, that's not really a useful hint, but
Yeah.
I love Deepwood spawns in Farron.
They are very nice, yeah.
They're convenient. Especially when Skyview is not required. Because we are never going to see this area in the Siege again. Oni is going to go check out Skipper's Retreat and grab the statue, which makes a lot of sense. Kind of getting around Sansi is pretty slow. I would expect we will see him stop at the harbor dock as well. And that looks like a totally dead Skipper's Retreat. Which you really do love to see.
Yeah.
Really, you just don't want to see skydive chests.
Yeah, I remember those times in Remlets.
Alright, so Oni is just beelining for Sandship.
Okay.
There's a small
That's-
chance that
so-
he is able to beat... There's a small chance he'd be able to beat Tentalis, but my guess is, logically or otherwise, Tentalis is whip-locked.
Yeah.
So possibly... So the way the hints work for useful items is they will either be... For non-junk items, they will either be required, possibly required, or not required. Not required means you will never have to get the item. Required means that basically the logic of the seed, if you took that item out, you could not beat the seed. Possibly required means it's a useful item, but it does not, and it could lock something, but it does not hard lock it. And most often that occurs with beetles, slingshots, bows, bottles, and gratitude crystals, where there are a lot of copies of those items. And so missing one is not going to, outside of rare cases, stop you from beating the seed. There are times when you might want to get a possibly required item. And it is possible. So there are 4 swords in the item pool. You only need 3. That spiral charge could just be locking a sword. For
Definitely,
example.
yeah.
It can't lock 2. Because if either of the spiral charge lock checks had something that was required, spiral charge would be hinted required. So it's... What I would say is possibly required in a trial, unless it's a sword, you are usually not going to see runners go do it.
Yeah.
Swords are
Usually
kind of the
it's not worth it.
one exception, where if you get to the end of the seed and you need a sword, and you know one is in a trial, you may decide it's faster to just go into the trial and check either the Dusk Relic checks or the final reward, and basically hope and pray.
Also, I guess we didn't talk about Derq found another beetle in Farron.
Yes.
So that beetle at the end of ET is now in Logic, actually.
Yep. There's
And
another
that's
harp.
another harp-shaped object.
That's gonna be
Thundering Song with nothing in the
and
trial.
Skyloft Trial is useless. What?
Special rings at Stern Chest. Locked by claw shots, logically.
Yes. Yeah, the game expects you to have claw shots to get up here. And in fact, you need claw shots to get out, so... I mean, we know at this point claw shots are statistically the most important item in Skyward Sword. That's going to be useful for Derq.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I'm Derq, I don't even go into Cistern.
Ancient Cistern, yeah.
I think you just beeline for Lanayru because you can now full clear Sandship. You can now full clear the whole Lanayru region and get your whip. You know you're going to need Mogramits to beat the seed. We still need a sword. But at this point, that could be it. And a whip, obviously.
Which is locked by
can't
those
beat Sandship.
and
But yeah,
and the
so you don't go to
It's-
Sandship at all. You beeline for main. If you're reading the hints, you're gonna make a beeline for main Lanayru. My guess is whatever our Tantalus path is, it's gonna point direct. It's either gonna point to the claw shots or it's gonna point to the.
Yeah.
Because at this point, that's the only thing that could be path to Tantalus.
I guess technically also the Emerald Tablet, but that would be boring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Central Skyloft to Tantalus, and that actually
that is
might...
the Emerald Tablet.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. Derq is going to go into Cistern, which I understand. This is, again, me, like, reading the logic and understanding. I would just skip this.
Yeah.
Only because I would want to just get the whip and be able to do this in one go. And you have everything you need to clear the entirety of Lanayru at this point. Which is kind of, I don't know, that's my thinking, is like, you are now in a how quickly can I clear the seed to find the items I need.
Yeah. Also, Oni is actually able to beat Tantalus.
He definitely should.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because it's possible he's never going to have to come back here.
Very much so.
I wonder what our Scaldera path is going to be, or if we're just not going to have one. Well, we have to have a Scaldera path.
Yeah.
Scaldera, unless you start with Bomb Bag.
Oh, you have a bomb back on and always hint.
Yeah, it's hard in these settings for Earth Temple to not be hinted.
The Master Sword in Ancient System for Derq.
So all we need to beat the seed now, we need a Triforce Hint. We need Mogramits. We need the whip. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but can we start using the J word?
I think in this case, probably, yeah.
Yeah, this is now one where Derq is in a race against the clock. And I think it's like ultimately Oni is not that far from going to Farron and getting the claw shots. So it's not like Derq has any huge advantage. But the claw shots are going to lock your final dungeon completion. Kind of the only other question is, where's your third Triforce? Where are the Magma Mitts? You're going to see Derq do Cistern Clip here. He is moving very quickly.
Yeah.
You have to move. There's basically, it's like a 1 pixel window here. I know the way I do it is I basically run up against the wall and I just tilt my stick so slightly. I didn't see which of these checks. Did he save before he did this?
Yeah, he did save.
Okay. This is one of the few tricks you can do where you can soft lock if you mess up. Always want to save before you do it. And it looks like it's just
the key locked.
The key lock check. I think he might have just soft locked there.
No.
No.
That's just Squid Cam Wrangle.
Okay. So what he should do, if he knows how, is if you run to this corner here... Okay, he's just going to skip it.
Okay.
You know,
actually,
that Triforce and Sandship at this point...
I was about to mention that.
...is whip-locked. It's either whip-locked or key-locked, which the keys are logically whip-locked.
Could it be on the heart container or the crest? I think so, right?
Yes, it could.
Okay, so it only has 2 more chances of potentially being able to skip the rest of Sandship.
Okay. Yeah, and like if I were in Derq's shoes, I would skip Sandship till you get the whip.
Yeah.
Because you know at this point, not exactly where the whip is, but, you know, a few places where the whip could be.
You can pinpoint the general area that has to lead to the whip.
Yeah, I
some
mean,
way or another.
The whip has to be locked behind the key.
Yeah, so it can be anywhere in the layer except for Sansi.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, Oni is really not that far from making his way to Farron. Like, he is going to go there next.
Yeah, definitely. He has basically no other option left aside from going Farron. That would make much sense.
Yeah. Yes, that is 100% correct. It is his only choice. He can go check Betrow 5 and 10. He has 4 locations accessible. It's Betrow 5 and 10. It's a vanilla heart container. Those heart containers, because they're part of the cutscene, the models cannot be changed.
Okay.
And some gratitude.
And that's a hard required whip for Sandship.
Yep.
Sony will need to return.
Well, we still don't know 100%. Oni got a small key, I think. Or did he not get a small key?
It doesn't show on his tracker.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. So everything, both small keys are also whip locked.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we need the whip anyway to beat Cistern, so...
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's no way with back in time or anything else to skip the whip to get into that treasure room or to do some of the other things. I think Oni is doing that for early Thunderhead.
Yeah, I think so as
well. It's got to be just for him to potentially be able to if he wants to, because it's the only reason to open up the dungeon. It's a back in time trick that will allow him to go into Thunderhead. Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna do it here.
I mean,
I don't know if there's like a super easy way to die here. It's a little slow.
If he dies, if he's saved here, isn't even a need to open the dungeon, I think, because deep puts should auto commit.
But you have to get the flag.
Oh yeah, I thought it also sets a flag automatically if you're safe in deep woods, but I might be wrong on that.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I also don't do early Thunderhead enough to...
I don't either.
Be fully knowledgeable about that.
I don't know. I don't think this is strictly necessary here, but obviously, like, could be useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hope Derq skips Sandship for now. Maybe the most he should do is open up the entrance.
Yeah.
Just because where he is right now, the items he has, I don't think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I'd agree. With the information you have, you know that whip is somewhere in Lanayru that is locked by Cave's Key. Or at least locked by that. So you know you can't Fugler Sandship in one go if you're going there now.
Derq, yeah, you can douse this without moving. Not a huge time loss, but
yeah.
Yeah, like if I were Derq, I might not even open Sandship now. I would just beeline it for.
Yeah, same. Especially
you
since
can
then
clear
you can
everything in Desert. You can clear everything in Mines. You can clear everything in Gorge. Where it is. He might do it, but I don't think it makes a lot of sense necessarily. Yeah. Wait, we really are kind of like I said, I think Oni has been a little faster and a little more efficient than Derq. But despite them being at different points, like, it's not like one is clearly ahead of the other, because we kind of know where Oni is headed, which is he's going to go do, like, well, no, Oni is ahead of Derq, I think, just based on, like, a little bit execution speed. But we're going to see Derq basically do everything Oni did here in Sandship. We're going to see Oni do everything here in Farin. It'll be interesting to see if he decides to go into Cistern or if he decides to go climb the Great Tree. That is the one thing Derq didn't do that I might have in his shoes. Unfortunately, he does fall off the mast.
I think Derq also didn't go into Sealed Grounds.
Did Oni? I don't think Oni has either.
Neither of them have yet.
Yeah.
But Derq, after AC, left Farron
Yeah.
for Laneru.
Well, while we were watching them kind of retrace each other's steps, it's a minute early, but happy 1 hour to everyone. Want to give a massive shout out to Featherblade for tracking at what is quite early in the morning for her. We really appreciate it. Thank you to Cube David for commentating with me. And thanks to Oni and Derq for being willing to be on Restream.
And thanks to you, Golden, as well, for taking care of the restream and also commentating alongside me.
You have
That's
another race
always
you're doing
fun
later
having-
today too, so
Yeah.
you've got a double duty day. I might have a double duty day tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah. You'll hear from me again in a few hours. Not with Skyward Sword, but with Baker. Anyway, Derq now also gonna pick up his 5 rings on the stern chest.
Yep. And we'll see how useful or required those are. We don't really know.
Yeah.
But given that Boko Base has a Triforce, there's decent odds you need those.
Yeah. And I think we only had 1 ping in non-summit Boko base.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell which chest that was, since I didn't pay too much attention to that, but...
I'm so bad at knowing.
Yeah, I just need a little more time to check what it is. And I guess also just ping it myself. I really can't tell from the runner's POV.
I have never bothered learning it because I just, for me, it's mostly a on-off switch type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Oni decides to go into Cistern at all.
Hey, doesn't
Like I said,
matter.
kind of in his shoes, I wouldn't. And yeah, he is just beelining for Linheru. I might have gone to Sealed Grounds, check the hint. Top of Great
Yeah.
Tree is a little trickier of a question. Yeah, I think we can now kind of say Oni is a couple minutes ahead of Derq here.
Yeah. Oh, those were gas bellows. On the
Probably
pillar.
not useful.
Yeah. Villager said so. No Malara, Gorge Digging has been hinted at already. I don't think the ping in Boko base was strong enough that it could be chest on cliff. don't know if there's really much more that Bellows lock. Well, I guess Great Tree logically. But I'm pretty sure both these runners... Okay, there's Preface of Wisdom, so we don't need the hint for that. So we're really just mids from no mode at this point.
Yeah. There's an edge case where, like, Ballad is required. Sorry, what were those 2 hints in caves? I did not even look at them.
I also did not really pay attention, but... Okay, so... I guess one of the hints was E.T. Daughter, but the other one I absolutely did not get.
Gonna try and pull up Oni's VOD and see. I was not paying attention, so I'm gonna look back at his video while you commentate on. Looks like there's something in mind.
Yeah. I would assume so. Maybe also just going for the cube, since that is one of the Fallen Nero cubes that are enabled. Okay, no, but there's also a chest pinging behind landing. So Oni's gonna get.
Did Oni check? Okay, so that was Lava Tunnel. I don't know if Oni actually checked the thing in the middle.
Okay.
So I'm not crazy.
More crystals.
Yeah. They are 5-pack away from every Betrow check that can be useful. Having something. Oni. Was there something deeper here? There must have been.
It seems like it. Otherwise, I'd be questioning why going in so deep.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's Fan Statue.
And then he'll probably just warp out.
Yeah, you have electric juice right next to that chest.
Yep.
It's really convenient to have off spot.
Yeah, there's no concern.
Yeah.
But I don't know that we'll have to see how big of a difference that makes, if any.
Yeah.
That's kind of the one. I mean, that is the one thing that basically Derq has done that Oni has not. I don't think there's anything Oni has done that Derq has not. Alright, so that's 30 crystals. The Tro 40 is in logic. Nobody is going to do 10 loose.
Yeah, I know.
And that is
Okay,
our
just
duplicate
another
Betrow 50.
Islands and desert. Absolute radio silence.
Nothing pinged. And that's nice,
Yeah.
it makes it faster. But you know at this point Whip is either on a cube or in one of the nodes. Or on the robot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean there's not a lot of useful items left. Like, they are still pretty close. Oni certainly has been a little faster on a lot of things, but...
Yeah, Derq is not far behind.
No, definitely not. There have just been, like, a bunch of little places where Oni has saved a little time. He's a little faster on the Scaldera kill. He's just generally, like, I think a little more efficient at routing things in. There's definitely just an experience advantage.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But it's not like there's a huge difference. I've never seen someone do this from up here. Interesting.
Yeah.
But that does work, because it gets you close to the robot without setting off the trigger.
Yeah. With a way more lenient window.
Yeah.
Since you just have that way longer jump.
And
okay.
it's nothing.
So nodes, cubes...
no, actually, you don't need those bellows for anything.
Nope.
Well, you might. Boko base.
Yeah, I think the cliff chest didn't ping. I think the ping was not strong enough for that, but I might be wrong on that. Anyway, it's better to just pick it up then.
Better to be safe, because you don't...
Needing it and
it's a slow place
not having
to go
it.
back for. Alright, looks like it's just one of the front chests here in Fire Node, but we'll see.
Yeah, so the front chest usually masks the back ones pretty well. Though in this case it is just that first chest.
You always appreciate when you don't have to go to the back of Fire Node.
Oh, absolutely. And even more so, Fire Node is just completely dead.
There's
okay,
our Magma
that's restream no mode, basically.
Yeah, that could also mean our whip is in Boko base.
That as well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we need a sword, a whip, and 2 Triforces. I do think Oni is ahead here, but...
Yeah. Because I think once he gets his whip, he'll just beeline it for AC.
Go to
Sanchip
first.
Yeah, because he knows
AC
that
spits you out closer to sealed grounds.
Yeah, and he knows that he has to go into Sanchip, back into Sanchip anyways because of that Triforce.
Oh yeah, one other play the harp to enter the trials. Doesn't really come into play here, but you saw that the trial gate was just open once you get the song and the harp.
Yeah. It is definitely very convenient.
Life Tree Fruit.
Okay, Life Tree Fruit.
Again, you don't have to go to the back of Lightning Node. Oh no, you do.
Yeah.
He's not looking at... He's not peeking correctly.
Okay. Is that the whip? Nope, just the bottle. Okay.
Yeah. I think you have to go turn the Life Tree Fruit in. I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to go to Boko base first. The reason I say that is just going back to Linearu for literally one thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But, like, yes, you have to do Boko base no matter what, but the useful items you found so far in the Linearu region are your Magmats, the Life Tree Fruit, and some cubes that you haven't doused yet.
Yeah.
And maybe the you know, he's not going to need the whip to do anything in Boko base, so he's okay. But yeah, I don't know. I probably would have just turned in like Death Warped and turned in the Life Tree Fruit, because I would not have wanted to fly back. So you have to go back for Sand Chip, so never mind. I forgot about that. The only thing, like, you've got to do Boko base no matter what. You've got to do Sand Chip no matter what. It's, yeah. I made a snap judgment.
Okay, seems like it's just one of the chests near ET. Either east or west.
But you also, I mean, you 100% have to go into
Summit.
Whatchamacallit? Summit, yeah. Just given where you are in the seed and what the paths are, and you don't want to come back here.
Chest is pinging. Just don't stand at the very front of... Okay. Yes, I think if you stand at the very front of the platform, you can dip into lava. And there's the whip.
Alright. So, Oni does not know this. But he's probably just going to beeline it for his dungeons anyway. So,
yeah.
Oni is probably... This is going to be a fast seed. This is going to be under 140, which even for these settings is pretty fast. Because we know the 100%.
And that's all he needs.
Yeah.
And that's the Triforce.
Yep. Oni is going to keep doing this because, again, he doesn't know where that last sword is. That's like, it's not a huge amount of time that Derq is going to save, though.
Yeah. I would have said a sword on fire drag would have been incredible.
Yeah. I don't know if this is fast. Go mode Cistern is quick, but it kind of depends on where the boss key is, which we don't know yet. Like, Cistern in general is one of the faster dungeons.
Yeah, depending on the key layouts, especially boss key and the singular small key, it can be, I think, the fastest dungeon. Well, maybe except for Fire Sanctuary, if you are very lucky.
Yeah. It's It just depends entirely on where the boss key is. It's like
Yeah.
the boss key can be on the slowest check in the dungeon.
Honestly, my bet at this point would probably be the key locker room.
Yeah, Derq did not check that.
Yeah. And we know it's pinging. And it definitely cannot be the small key due to key logic.
Does Oni have audio? He does. We just don't usually switch audio mid-seed. So, I haven't listened in. His stream was.
And Oni is going for Sunship first as
Yeah,
we...
this makes a lot of sense.
Going to check for...
He is also fishing for a sword, so...
Which is fair. Yeah, that's just Spiral Charge Rock that's pinging.
Yeah, and kind of now for Oni, the problem here is the Sandship is not the fastest, depending on where the Triforce is. Oni is also going to be hunting for sword.
Yeah.
That is kind of the one tiny advantage that Derq has here, is that sword. It might get Derq out a little faster. I just don't know if it's enough. Like, in Derq's shoes, he should know he's in... He should know he needs to go to Magma... or to Boko base.
Yeah.
But I get why he was doing... Yeah. We did not get a hint for the robot in Briggs reward, so I think we're going to see Oni do the full puzzle, just on the off chance. Yeah, Derq, I think, unfortunately, like, Derq had some minor advantages, but he's now chasing things that, if you understand the logic, you know cannot block anything that's required.
Yeah.
It's kind of the way he routed things. He had a little bit of information advantage, but it's kind of right chasing these things in Skyloft.
Looks like Derq is going for Boca Base now.
Yeah, and I think this is pretty firm. This is pretty firmly Oni's race. There's really any minor advantage that Derq had is totally wiped out.
Yeah.
It's funny because the things that Derq did that I was like, yeah, I wouldn't do this, actually ended up giving him information, which just kind of, you know, right, he went into Cistern and got that sword. That was a lot of information. Because Oni is not going to be able to go mode Cistern unless he gets a sword here.
Yeah. Also going to Sandship, even though you knew that the whip would be locked behind the other Lanera regions, which yields him the 5 shield earrings, which are coming in handy for the rest of Boca Base, since you then just don't have to double dip it. I'd much rather double dip Sandship than double dip Boca Base.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's not, you know, I think ultimately this is a race that kind of came down to Oni is a little more experienced and he executes a little faster on things. You know, we'll have to see kind of where the Triforce is. It's not like Oni is going to do a ton, but the interesting thing, of course, is if the Triforce is not key locked and Oni chasing a sword goes for Skirvo and
Husky chest.
Yeah. So one small key is on the robot in the brig. I think.
Yeah.
Again, like this is a place, so Oni is going to be done in less than 15 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Like, his gamble that he does not have to do anything in Sand or stream just jumped. Stream delay is off. I'm going to do a quick refresh of the streams. So just bear with me.
Oni in AC now will be mere minutes away from getting his...
Yeah, and Derq now knows he is in go mode. I think figured out.
Yeah, immediately warping the start after Boca Base indicates that Derq knows that he's in go at this point.
Yeah, but a little, I think just a little too late, unfortunately, for Derq.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oni's about to get this sword. You cannot roll under the crushers, for the record. It's just not feasible. Like, if they're coming down, you're not going to have enough time to roll under them, where Oni did that.
Yep, and that's also go mode for Oni now.
Yeah, he needs maybe a small key, maybe a boss key. I think he's going to grab this small key. It does make the dungeon a little faster if you have it.
Yeah.
I think this is a small key. Yeah. There are ways to skip the small key to get up to the boss key door, but yeah, I think we're looking at like a 140 to 145, depending on how long it takes and where the key is.
Yeah.
So pretty solid. I don't know. There wasn't a lot of complicated in this seed. It was just kind of finding things.
Yeah. He didn't throw you a lot of curveballs.
No, it really didn't. Like, the logic was pretty straightforward. I wonder if we're going to see Oni do the Boko, or if he's just going to go down to do the... I think he might cistern clip to check this. Yeah, I guess cistern clip is still a little faster than just fighting the Stallmaster. That's called?
Yeah, Stallmaster.
Yeah, and really the only question for Oni is like, is the boss key here, or is it? I guess there's the rupee under the lily pad, which you didn't click for. Forgot about that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, the beetle kind of just reaches far enough where you can peek it. You can't get it without a quick beetle. But yeah, we're gonna see Oni do this clip. So you get to where you swim out of bounds, and you're swimming out of bounds here. You swim to the foot and spawn into the room. And there we go. And he will... If he knows how to do it right, he might not spawn the Stallmaster.
Yeah, you can't just go around him to avoid the trigger.
Yeah, avoiding the trigger to jump onto the water thing is hard. But so he doesn't even get to hear the cool music.
Nope. So Derq will get his Triforce in less than a minute. And we'll then just go back to Ancient Cistern. It might be less than like 5 minutes between the two finishes.
Yeah, it's not like a huge gap. Yeah, I mean, I think it's 4, 5, 6 minutes.
Yeah. Something around that. Nice one cycle on phase 1 from Oni.
Yeah.
Okay, and Derq is going for the chestnut vines first.
Yeah. I mean, not a surprise here.
Yeah,
I think the
it
question
is
for Derq is just, does he
bit faster.
go do like the Boko or, some of these other things?
Yeah.
And yeah, Skyward Sword, it's a little tricky to do, but there are good ways to do custom music in it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It is a pain, so I have not done it, but
Yeah, I still gotta finish up my music pack at some
yeah. And
point.
Derq is okay. He's going to check chest over.
Okay. Okay, it seems like he's gonna do the fight vanilla.
Yeah, that's if you don't feel comfortable with it. And honestly, Master Sword is not
Yeah.
crazy.
What a ballot placement.
And yeah, Oni is heading into the end game. If you watched season 3 but have not watched any or read the season 4 settings, you'll know you won't know that we eliminated the horde fight for season 4, which shaves a few minutes off the end game time. But yeah, Derq just about to hit go mode 2. He's a couple minutes behind. Maybe a little more than 5 minutes. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
I have not seen Derq do the endgame gauntlet, for example.
Yeah, neither have I. I mean, I have been paying too close attention to most races anyway. So I really can't judge.
Yeah.
The only if I have is been over a year now anyway.
Yeah, I've been a little out of the racing scene too, so I haven't been paying as much attention to races. But yeah, a really solid race, I would say overall.
Oh yeah.
I think this was one of the more linear seeds, I guess, in a sense. Like there wasn't a lot of complicated stuff going on. There wasn't really, there wasn't anything too crazy necessarily. And it's a fast seed. Like the seeds have been averaging 215, so even for these settings, this was pretty fast. Just kind of how random is. And this randomizer, a fast seed will be pretty fast.
Pretty good phase 1, from what I could tell from Oni.
Yeah, we'll see. This is phase 2 is kind of the phase you can gain some time, but he's depending on what you do. But I know even getting 2 hits. Not the fastest phase 2, but very solid.
Yeah.
I think Derq. I don't think he got the fast phase 1 here on Colossus. No,
I think might also not be too comfortable with the.
Yeah, it's definitely a
phase,
trick that you have to learn.
Yeah.
Skyward strikes don't work on phase 1.
Yeah, there is a strat that involves Skyward Strikes for phase 1, but I think it's just for Goddess Sword and longer White Sword if you don't have bombs.
Yeah, there's different strats depending on what sword you have. I know some of them, I don't know all of them.
Yeah, I mean Master Sword is usually pretty easy since you can just do 2 spin attacks.
Yeah.
At the core, and that works.
That's the only one I really know. So
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the bomb strat on Colossus is.
Yeah, for me it helped with constantly targeting Coloctos and then like circling around him a little bit. And that is GG's for Oni.
GG's for Oni, so he takes a 1-0 record within his group. He is in Group C with Jasnix, Neitherbath, and Derq. I don't know. Oni is not going to come in for an interview. French is his first language. There's a French restream, so he's going to do the French restream. I don't know about Derq either. But yeah, we didn't really talk about this before the seed, but the way this tournament's working, we have groups of 4. There's a single round robin in each group. The top 2 from each group will advance to a single elimination bracket of 8 players. So, Derq is also French, and I have not heard from him about whether he's going to come in. I'm waiting to see. So getting you need 1 or 2 wins to move on from the group. So, that win for Oni is going to be important. I think he should be favored in at least one other race, so should be pretty solid to make it out of his group.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait to see if Derq wants to come in for an interview. Okay, I've heard from Derq he is not going to come in for an interview. So we'll let him finish up and then go out and do a raid. While he is finishing up, please give both of our runners a follow. Trying to get the command off. I'll do this before we finish. So please give both of our runners a follow, Oni and Derq. Huge thanks again to Cube David, who was commentating alongside me, and Featherblade, who got up very early in the morning to help track and make this happen. These restreams do not happen without our trackers.
Neither do they happen without our restreamers. So again, thanks to you as well for pulling double duty on this.
It's not too hard.
I know, but still.
Naps are good, Featherblade. Sleep is important.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
So that kind of the three phases of Girahim 3 fight. Phase 1 is pretty straightforward, especially with the shield. The one thing. Kind of, so you just hit him till he gets to the edge and then knock him off. You can use the shield to stun him. Phase 2 is a little trickier because there are some fast strats where you can get a lot of hits on him. This is also the phase where your calibration will be perfect for 2 hours in a seed, and then suddenly just stop working. I'm sure you've had that happen, right?
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden you just can't get the jabs.
Yeah.
And then phase 3
a couple times already.
Phase 3 is pretty straightforward. You just parry with the shield and do a couple spin attacks in the right directions. And again, as long as your nunchuck doesn't screw around with you, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, or run out of stamina.
Yeah. But it worked out in the end.
Yeah. Pretty clean. And then the Demise fight, I feel like is one of those things that seemed really intimidating until I sat down and practiced it and understood, like, it is one of the most predictable fights in the game, in that Demise is basically scripted to respond to you in certain ways. And as long as you can get the first cycle for phase 2 especially, and that is a really clean phase 1.
Yeah. Very nicely done.
And yeah, phase 2 you have to be a little more precise, but really clean first part. And that's really where the trouble comes in. And that is GG's for Derq. So with that, I've already thanked everyone. We have 2 more Skyward Sword races this weekend. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And what else do we have? I know there's a few other things on the schedule.
You got a Wind Waker race in about 2 hours.
Yes, a Majora's Mask race in 3 hours, and the Ocarina of Time qualifier at 6 p.m. Eastern as well. So, got a few races on the schedule. With that, we are going to go. Yeah, we are back to kind of full bore. Ocarina of Time qualifiers, some other tournaments. But with that, we are going to go raid the Rejects and Friends Marathon. I think they did have some Zelda they just finished up, but they're raising money for a good cause. So we're going to go raid over to them, go give them some support, raise some money for them, and thanks for watching. See y'all later.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.